Alright, I hate that I have to be doing this on Easter Sunday, but apparently there are only two news sources that have covered this story, and that was, of course, 1010 Wins, from what I heard when I had my alarm clock woke me up this morning at 10 o'clock, and now this. So what's going on, you may be wondering? Well, guess what? We had another incident at the Key Food Shopping Plaza on 73rd Avenue in Bayside. Yep, second incident that has happened in the past couple of weeks. Obviously, we do remember the bank robbery that happened at Chase, and now this. And again, thankfully 1010 Wins did cover this. I'm going to check CBS New York's YouTube page in a bit, because I have my YouTube tab right here, so I will definitely search them as soon as we do this. Because I was just researching a different video earlier. Yeah, so we'll take a look and see if there is something on there, but let's read this. 16-year-old woman is in critical condition after a purse snatcher shoved her to the ground outside of a supermarket in a quiet Queens neighborhood Saturday morning, April 16th. An unidentified man approached the woman outside of the Key Food supermarket on 73rd Avenue and Bell Boulevard in Bayside around 9:30 a.m., police said from the 111 precinct. The brute grabbed her purse and allegedly pushed the woman, who hit her head on the ground. She was transferred to Northwell North Shore University Hospital in Manhattan in critical condition. The suspect drove off from the scene in a white Honda. No arrests have been made. So obviously, take a look at New York One's page. I'm going to pull this up. Yep. Look at this. I mean, it's so obvious what Channel 1 gears to. It's so obvious. Take a look at their Queens section. Yeah, and our mayor won't even release his tax records. Go figure. Go figure. Yeah, I mean, that's good that we had a Tom Seaver statue in Flushing, but what about what's going on with what happened in Bayside? No. I mean, literally, I heard about it on 1010 Wins this morning. Just taking a look. Yeah, so very disturbing. We are going to get into what happened with the woman in the duffel bag, but I figured what we're going to do is we're going to play the 1010 Wins clip, so let me get that organized. Well, turns out 1010 Wins does have an audio clip of it, so let's listen.
A woman is in critical condition after she was pushed to the ground and robbed in a supermarket parking lot in Queens.
The 60-year-old woman was robbed and attacked in a Key Food parking lot off 73rd Avenue. She was parked in a handicapped spot and she was outside of her vehicle. The NYPD says a man approached her, took her purse, and then pushed her right to the ground and drove away. The woman was hospitalized with head trauma. The victim had hit her head on the concrete in the lot. Shoppers were aggravated to hear about it.
Being robbed doesn't surprise me. They think once you're over a certain age, you're vulnerable to everything that could happen. It could be my wife, could be my sister, could be anybody.
You know, we're not safe, even in the safest neighborhoods. Crime is happening everywhere.
The robber fled in a white Nissan sedan. Carol Dioria, 1010 Wins in Queens.
And thankfully, Laura Uhl did have information about the license plate. So let's go on to her Facebook page and we'll read this. And I'm sorry if I'm spending a lot of time on it. It's just that I'm supposed to be getting a haircut in that shopping plaza this week. And, you know, I really have to keep my guard up. Okay, so here we go. I thought she had the license plate. Okay. White Nissan Sentra, New Jersey plates. 60-year-old male going on a crime spree. Oh, then look at this. A woman was knocked out in Glen Oaks. I mean, look at this. This is apparently multiple victims according to Crime Stoppers. Bayside, Fresh Meadows, Flushing, Jackson Heights. I mean, that's just disturbing. I'm so sorry about that. My stupid iPad just went off. But this is what I mean. I mean, this is what's going on. And, you know, Channel 1 just ignores this as usual. Am I surprised? No. Not really. No. Alright, so let's go here. And I'll show you where the parking lot is. And then we're going to get to the other urgent stuff in Queens, because we're going to be focusing solely on Queens today, since a lot is going on. So here we go. Right over here. Hang on, I can't even get a view of the parking lot. Okay, I am so sorry, folks. I thought there was a way where we can look in the parking lot. Apparently not. This is it? Yeah, here we go. Okay, good. So we do have a view of the parking lot. Yeah. So this is where it happened, right here. This is the parking lot. I know this parking lot very, very well. Yep. I mean, this is just so disturbing. You know, and there's my barber shop right there. I mean, I'm sure the employees were shaken up about it, and then they went back to work, of course, because, you know, how are they supposed to make their living? They gotta cut hair. You know? My goodness. No one's keeping me out of this, alright? I'm from Bayside. No one keeps me out of my own neighborhood. Okay, so let's get to the other news. And I want to get to the woman who was found in the duffel bag. Because, I mean, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, how could this happen? You know, dumped near Forest Park. So here we go. Law enforcement sources said a passerby made the gruesome discovery near the corner of Metropolitan Avenue and Forest Drive off the Interborough Parkway at about 8:11 a.m. on the morning of Saturday, April 16th, and called 911 for assistance. Officers from the 112 precinct responded to the call and found the remains of a 51-year-old female named Ursula Gao. As of Saturday afternoon, police sources did not provide any information regarding the nature of the trauma the victim had sustained. So it says here that there was a blood trail that was found at 72-24 Juno Street. The remains were brought to the office of the chief medical examiner for an autopsy to determine the cause of death. No arrests have been made, so. Nothing about it on Channel 1 either. I mean, really. Take a look at the public safety. You know, this is a big deal. This is a very big deal. I mean, how could Channel 1 not cover this? I mean, covering the woman who wasn't robbed is one thing, but I mean, my goodness. So I'm going to go to the Post right now. I think they had something about the woman who was yeah, here we go. I'm trying to find it. I mean, if I can't find it, then I do apologize. It's just that, you know, this is what happens when you are trying to find news. Unless if you can Google the woman's name, then that would help. I thought I saw her picture on the New York Post. Because there was already obituaries being sent out. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Yeah, this is the one I was looking for. The New York Post had her picture. So now they're interviewing the son. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, interesting. So the 13-year-old son of the victim was questioned. That's very interesting. Okay. So this is the woman who was found in the duffel bag. Wow, I mean, she was a pretty woman. I'll give her credit on that. Look how cute that dog is. You know, this is just disturbing. And then I think this is a picture of her and her husband. So let me zoom this out. That way you can see it. So her husband's name is Howard. So I don't know if they're going to be questioning him. I mean, I hope it's not what I think it is, but it's only early to speculate. Oh, see that? That's definitely a duffel bag. You know how I could tell? I used to be a member of the Sid Jacobson JCC in Long Island when, in my teenage years, and I would always bring a bag like this to workout courses when I was a teenager, when I would, take courses during the weekends for, spare curriculum to earn high school credit, but that's not the point. The point is, this is what's going on here. And Channel 1 constantly keeps putting us off, which we're really sick and tired of it already. Alright, there's so much going on here in Queens, and we're just constantly getting ignored. And a gunman on the loose. Look at this. In Jamaica, Foch Boulevard and Guy R. Brewer Boulevard. So here we go. A homicide reported last night. You cannot make this stuff up. Shootings have increased in Queens this year, with 55 victims of gun violence in the borough between January 1st and April 12th, compared with just 44 during the same time frame last year. So, it's just very, very disturbing. By the way, I will mention, the 107 precinct recently released their statistics. Robbery is up in this precinct. Which, that surprised me? No, not really. So there is an update on the men who were charged with attacking the sick man in Richmond Hill. So I just want to make sure that you can read this. So here we go. So the suspect, Vernon Douglas, was arraigned yesterday in Kew Gardens. So we do have a statement from the Queens District Attorney's Office. So let's see if we can go to her website and find a press release. Hopefully there is something. Okay, yeah, obviously there was something on Twitter, but I want to see if she has a press release on her website. Let's see. Yes, okay, here we go. Because I don't want to read from the Courier. I'd rather would read from Melinda Katz's official website. So here we go. Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz announced on Saturday, April 16th, that Vernon Douglas, age 19, has been charged with hate crimes for allegedly attacking and robbing 3 men in separate incidents near the intersection at 95th Avenue and Lefferts Boulevard in Ozone Park between April 3rd and April 12th. A second man, Hazelmick Coleman, is also charged with Douglas in connection with one of the attacks. In a statement, District Attorney Katz said, "The defendant is accused of targeting 3 men, all members of the Sikh community who wore turbans at the time of the attacks. We will not tolerate meetings motivated by hate in the borough of Queens, the most diverse county in the entire world. Our diversity is our strength, and no acts of violence will undermine who we are. The defendant, along with the co-defendant, will be held to account for the charges of which they are accused of." Mr. Douglas of Watkins Street in Brooklyn was arraigned before Queens Criminal Court Judge Anthony Bastati on 13-count criminal complaint. The defendant is charged with robbery in the first and second degree of a hate crime, 4 counts of an assault in the second degree as a hate crime, assault in the second degree of an elderly person over the age of 65, 3 counts of assault in the third degree as a hate crime, and 3 counts of aggravated harassment in the second degree as a hate crime. If convicted, Mr. Douglas will face up to 25 years in prison. Coleman of 118th Street in Richmond Hill was arraigned before Queens Criminal Court Judge Marty Lentz on a 5-count criminal complaint, charging him with robbery in the first and second degree. Judge Lentz set the next court date for May 26th. Okay, so we gotta wait until May. If convicted, Mr. Coleman will face up to 25 years in prison. So, obviously, we know the events that led up to it. In fact, Channel 1 did cover that. Okay, so here is more specifics. The investigation was conducted by John Hidalgo of the New York City Police Department Hate Crimes Task Force. So, thank you to Detective Hidalgo. I mean, that's a very important thing right here. Yep. So let me take a look at this for a second. I mean, look at this. 3 victims? I can't even read anymore. I'm sorry. I just can't. But as I said, you know, I've said it numerous times. I misjudge Melinda Katz. And honestly, I think she's doing a good job as district attorney. At least she's not Alvin Bragg. I'll give her credit on that. I think Melinda Katz is under a lot of pressure to do her job. And, you know, I think she understands the importance of trying to crack down on crime. And I will urge my viewers in Queens to support her re-election next year, because even though she is a Democrat, she's actually a Democrat who actually believes in following the law. Unlike, you know, all these other socialists like Humani Williams and AOC. No. They don't believe in following the law. So I'm going to read this last one. Where in Queens did this happen? Here we go. April 14th. So this happened on Thursday. Jackson Heights, Roosevelt Avenue. 3 individuals engaged the victim in a verbal dispute moments before going on the attack. The security camera footage from inside the station shows one of the perps engaged in an argument with the victim within the station mezzanine near a MetroCard vending machine. Moments later, the 3 suspects are pictured grabbing hold of the victim outside the turnstiles and dragging him away. Police said they repeatedly punched and kicked the man, then grabbed hold of his cane and struck him about his body. The terrible trio then dragged the victim out of the station when the attack continued until he was knocked unconscious. Authorities said the robbers fled the scene shortly thereafter in an unknown direction. So the victim was taken to Elmhurst Hospital. 110 Precinct and Transit District 20 are further investigating this, but there was a suspect who was caught on Friday evening. Palmore Singh, who allegedly was homeless, was taken into custody. So, robbery and assault charges were issued. Okay, here we go. So I'll give a suspect description. The 2 other suspects who were on the run, one of them is a male, dark complexion, believed between 30 and 50, who was last seen wearing a dark-colored baseball cap, a dark-colored coat, gray pants, and white sneakers. The other suspect was described as a man with a dark complexion between 30 and 50 years of age, light gray hair, multicolored jacket, a green hooded sweatshirt, blue jeans, and dark-colored boots. So there's one more I want to get into. It is kind of urgent, but this happened in the Bronx, if I can find it. That's odd. Where is it? Hope I can find it. That does not help me. No, I thought there was something about it. Let's see if I can find it. Is this it? Here we go. Found it. This is it.
It's still really early in the investigation, but police tell me that they found gun shell casings right here at the Bayside Avenue 4 train station. Police say shots were fired just around 2 a.m. According to police, the 4 train stopped at Jerome Avenue and 183rd Street. That's where cops say they believe the suspects fled. Investigators are now on the search for a man and woman, both in their 20s. We're told they took off on foot after the shots rang out. So far, police say there were no injuries, but this surely could add to the anxiety that many New Yorkers have told us they now feel when riding public transit because of all.
So there you go. I mean, obvious what's going on here. The Channel 1 is just ignoring us, as usual. You know, am I surprised? No. So you know what? I'm just going to wrap up this video. So without further ado, thank you for watching, and please just stay safe out there and watch your back, because this is a very, very uncertain time that we are facing right now. Take care.